So there has been a change of roles. There has been a change of dominance in financing. Let's talk a little bit about the future. There's 10 hypotheses that I want to share with you. The first one is really about the consistency and the sustainability of that development. I mean, is the change we've seen structural or is it more tactical? Is it just because of rates? It's very hard to give you a scientific proof of our conviction that this is very structural, but I show you maybe some numbers here. The gray bars are the fundraising bars we've just seen before. And what you clearly see is that this is not a development over the last 4 or 5 years. Okay, this goes back now for 30 years. There's cyclicality in there, but it's a very long-term trend. Very similar if you look at this ratio of the percentage of profitable companies at the time of the IPO, that started to go down in the 90s, end of 90s, okay? And that was, of course, around the millennium. There was a big change here. It went up again. That's quite normal after crisis. You see a little bit more profitable companies being IPO'd. I expect the same for the next 2 or 3 years, but there's clearly a trend line. Some people have argued in the past that it's natural to see more private market activities because with all the vast amount of leverage that was available, if you have a profitable business, you would not IPO, you will get the leverage. It's not a very convincing argument because if you look at this greenish line there, gray greenish line, you see the leverage in the industry as it comes down. So it's actually negatively correlated with the actual activity in the industry. And then of course you can look at rates, but also rates weren't at zero for a big part of the 30 years. So we believe it's a very structural change. There are people who are much more knowledgeable about the psychology of IP markets than I am. What they would tell you is there is one big reason for that shift. It's the institutionalization of asset management, index investing by institutions, with the IPO markets becoming a much more retail broker-oriented market, hedge fund-driven, retail broker-driven, that has changed a lot the psychology of the market, getting to a more speculative market.